Japan's so-called cartoons just quietly outpaced Hollywood. $25 billion. That's what the anime industry generated in a single year. But here's the thing, that number isn't the important part. The important part is what Japan actually does with anime. Because while the rest of the world is just watching it on a screen, Japan has wired anime directly into its streets, its trains, its hospitals, its schools, and even its sewers. And once you see how deep this goes, you'll never look at a cartoon the same way again. Today, we're counting down 13 ways anime culture in Japan quietly rewires everyday life. Stay until number 7, because what Japan built in the middle of a city using a single anime franchise is something urban planners still haven't caught up to. Let's get into it. Number 13. Solar-powered anime manholes. Most cities treat their manholes like an afterthought, a gray disc in the ground. Nobody looks at it. Nobody thinks about it. Japan looked at that exact same piece of infrastructure and thought, what if people actually wanted to find these? In the city of Tokorozawa, in partnership with media giant Kadokawa, they installed 28 solar-powered illuminated manhole covers featuring characters from Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gundam, and The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. These aren't stickers, they're engineered covers that light up from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., powered entirely by solar energy collected during the day. But here's the genius part. They serve 3 purposes at once. They light a safe walking path from the train station to the Kadokawa Culture Museum. They generate advertising revenue for the city from the IP owners. And they turned what was once described as a dirty and smelly part of urban infrastructure into a tourist attraction people actively seek out. Japan didn't just decorate a manhole. They turned a sewer lid into a small but very real smart city solution. Number 12. Bullet trains wrapped in one piece. The Shinkansen is already one of the most efficient pieces of transportation engineering on the planet. Trains that run on time to the second. Speeds that make a European high-speed rail look like it's warming up. But in 2025, JR West decided that wasn't enough. To celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Sanyo Shinkansen line, they launched the Grand Rail Project. 3 fully redesigned one-piece themed trains running between Shin Osaka and Hakata. And we're not talking about a few stickers on the outside. The interiors were completely rebuilt with pirate-themed seating, immersive decor, and custom fittings that make you feel like you've boarded the Thousand Sunny. Each train had its own identity. The Setouchi Blue, themed around the sea, and the Grand Line. The Tony Tony Chopper train, pink and white and candy-colored. And the Monkey D. Luffy train, gold and red, launching on July 2nd. Here's what makes this more than just a fun gimmick. These trains run on the Kodama service, which stops at all 19 stations along the route. That means every regional town along western Japan gets foot traffic. Tourists who would have taken the express and skipped straight through are now stopping, exploring, and spending money in communities that desperately needed it. One anime franchise, wired directly into regional economic recovery. That's not marketing, that's infrastructure. Number 11. Pokemon at 30,000 feet. All Nippon Airways is one of the most consistently rated airlines in the world. And in 2026, to mark the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, they didn't just slap a Pikachu on the side of a plane and call it a day. They introduced 3 new Boeing aircraft, a 787-8, a 787-9, and a 737-800, each with a livery that tells a cohesive visual story based on the original 1996 Game Boy titles Red, Green, and Blue. The same 3 versions that an entire generation grew up with. But the experience doesn't stop at the fuselage. Inside, the dining tray mats, the mixed nuts packaging, the paper cups, the headrest covers, all of it is custom designed. You're not just flying on a plane with a Pokemon painted on it, you're inside a world. And the strategy here is razor sharp. The people who grew up with those original Game Boy cartridges in 1996 are now in their 30s and 40s. They have disposable income. They have families. They are exactly the kind of high-spending travelers that airlines compete for. Japan looked at nostalgia and turned it into a loyalty engine. That's not cute. That's calculated. Number 10. The Robot Cafe, run by people who can't leave home. In Tokyo's Nihonbashi district, there's a cafe called the Dawn Avatar Robot Cafe, and from the outside, it looks like a high-concept tech experiment. But what's actually happening inside is one of the most quietly profound things Japan has built. The cafe is staffed by robots, small, elegant machines with design cues borrowed from traditional No theater. But here's what makes it completely different from every other robot restaurant you've heard about. These robots are not autonomous. They are operated remotely by people with severe physical disabilities, people whose conditions prevent them from leaving their homes. Through cameras, speakers, and motion controls, these individuals, called pilots, can see the cafe, speak to customers, take orders, and interact in real time. They are, for all practical purposes, working a job. In public, with other people. Japan is facing two crises simultaneously: a severe labor shortage and a growing epidemic of social isolation, including a phenomenon called hikikomori, where individuals withdraw completely from society. This cafe addresses both in a single solution. It creates employment for people who were previously locked out of the workforce entirely, and it gives them genuine human connection through a robotic medium. Number 9. Manga teaching tourists how to behave. Every country that receives large volumes of international tourists faces the same problem. How do you communicate cultural expectations to people who don't speak the language and didn't grow up with the customs? Most countries put up signs. Japan deployed 17 manga series. The Manga Manners campaign, run by publisher Kodansha, uses beloved characters to teach international visitors how to navigate Japanese culture. Cells at Work teaches public health norms. Fire Force covers safety behavior. Sailor Moon demonstrates how to wear a kimono. Left side over right, not the other way, which is reserved for funerals. Cardcaptor Sakura explains the traditional 45-degree bow, and Akira's Kaneda, riding his iconic red motorcycle, teaches tourists that vehicles drive on the left. Think about what this actually does. It takes information that would normally feel like a lecture or a warning and turns it into something people want to engage with. A tourist who sees a Sailor Moon panel showing kimono etiquette doesn't feel corrected. They feel included. They feel like they've been let in on something. Japan turned a social friction point into a cultural touch point, and it works because the characters already have trust. You don't argue with Sailor Moon. Number 8. Anime pilgrimages worth $3 billion. Here's a number that should reframe how you think about this entire industry: anime tourism. Fans traveling to real-world locations depicted in their favorite series. Generates approximately 480 billion yen annually in Japan. That's roughly $3 billion US dollars, from people visiting places they first saw in a cartoon. This practice has a name: Seichi Junrei, anime pilgrimage, and it works because Japanese animation is built differently. Background artists conduct meticulous location scouting, recreating real streets, real train stations, real hillsides with such precision that fans can stand in the exact spot a character stood and line up the shot frame for frame. Toyosato Town in Shiga Prefecture received 300,000 visitors over 5 years because of K-On!, a slice-of-life anime about a high school band. The town's old school building, which was nearly demolished, became a protected landmark because of fan pressure. Kumamoto Prefecture installed bronze statues of One Piece characters as part of its disaster recovery effort after the 2016 earthquake, using the franchise's goodwill to draw visitors back to a region that needed them. This is what happens when fiction is built with enough fidelity to reality that it creates genuine geographic desire. Japan didn't just make content, it made destinations. Number 7. The holographic companion solving a loneliness crisis. Japan has one of the most rapidly aging populations on the planet. It also has one of the highest rates of people living alone, and it has a word: kodawari, for the particular kind of loneliness that comes from returning to an empty home every single day. Gatebox is a device designed to solve exactly that. It's a glass capsule, roughly the size of a coffee maker, that houses a holographic AI character named Hikari Azuma. She has dual microphones, motion detectors, and facial recognition. She knows when you walk through the door. She greets you by name. She remembers your anniversary. She can control your air conditioning, your television, your bath. She sends you messages during the day to check in. Now, the reaction outside Japan to this is often discomfort, and that reaction is worth examining, because what Gatebox is actually doing is using technology to provide something that millions of people genuinely lack: the feeling that someone is waiting for them at home. By 2024 and 2025, the technology had expanded into professional settings. Realistic avatars were being deployed on cruise ships to provide personalized guest services. The same system that started as a companion for isolated individuals became a hospitality tool for premium travel experiences. Japan didn't build Gatebox because it thought loneliness was fine. It built Gatebox because it decided loneliness was a problem worth engineering a solution for. Number 6. Anime that teaches you biology, history, and architecture. In most countries, educational content and entertaining content exist in completely separate categories. You watch one to learn and the other to relax. Japan decided that was an unnecessary distinction. Cells at Work is an anime series in which the human body is depicted as a city, and every cell is a worker doing their job. Red blood cells deliver oxygen. White blood cells fight pathogens, platelets, depicted as small children, rush to seal wounds. The series is scientifically accurate enough that it is now used in Japanese schools to teach human biology. Students who struggled to engage with textbooks were suddenly invested in whether a red blood cell would make it to its destination in time. Thermi Romi is an anime about a Roman architect who time travels to modern Japan through bathhouses. It is, improbably, a detailed and accurate exploration of ancient Roman bathing culture and architecture. It became a gateway for Japanese students into classical history. Kyoto Seika University established the world's first manga department. Vocational colleges teach 3D software, teamwork, and professional communication through anime production. The medium isn't a distraction from education. In Japan, it is the education. Number 5. Live theater that shouldn't be possible. The 2.5D musical market is one of the most quietly remarkable entertainment sectors in the world, and almost nobody outside Japan knows it exists. These are theatrical productions, live, on stage, with real performers, that adapt 2D manga and anime into physical experiences, and the challenge they've set themselves is extraordinary. How do you recreate the visual language of animation? The speed lines, the impact frames, the impossible physics. On a live stage with human bodies, the answer involves projection mapping, specialized choreography, and a level of technical production that rivals anything on Broadway or the West End. Performers train specifically to move in ways that evoke the stylized motion of their animated counterparts. The result is something that genuinely shouldn't work, but absolutely does. In 2024, this sector grew by 17.4% year-on-year, and the reason is simple. You cannot pirate a live experience. In an industry that loses an estimated $13.6 billion annually to digital piracy, the 2.5D musical market is completely immune. You have to be in the room. Japan found a way to make anime physically irreproducible, and that choice is as economic as it is creative. Number 4. Toyota built an entire city inspired by anime. At the base of Mount Fuji, Toyota is building a city. Not a concept, not a prototype neighborhood, a city. Woven City opened its first phase in late 2024, and it is a $10 billion programmable urban environment where autonomous vehicles, robotics, and smart home technology are integrated into the daily lives of real residents. The residents are called weavers. They live in homes where every system is connected. They move through streets designed around human experience rather than car throughput. They interact with robots as a normal part of daily life. And they use digital twin technology, a real-time virtual replica of the entire city, to monitor and adjust systems as they go. The design philosophy of Woven City mirrors the utopian science fiction that has run through anime for decades. The idea that technology should serve human life, not the other way around. That a city should be a living system, not a fixed structure. That the boundary between the designed world and the experienced world should be as thin as possible. Japan didn't just make anime about the future, it started building one. Number 3. When anime became a global protest language. This one is genuinely unexpected because it shows what happens when anime leaves Japan and becomes a shared global language. The Jolly Roger, the skull and crossbones flag of Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, has appeared in political protests in Indonesia, used as a symbol of resistance against government overreach. Hamtaro plushies were carried in Thai pro-democracy demonstrations. Pikachu costumes showed up in Chilean street protests. Why anime characters? Because they are stateless. They belong to no government, no political party, no nationality. They carry meaning, courage, resistance, the fight of the small against the powerful, without carrying the baggage of real-world allegiances. A protester holding a Luffy flag cannot be accused of foreign interference. The symbol is universally legible and universally clean. This is soft power operating at a level that no government communication strategy could engineer deliberately. Japan didn't plan for its fictional pirates to become symbols of democratic resistance across Southeast Asia and South America. It just made characters compelling enough that people reached for them when they needed to say something that mattered. International revenue for Japanese anime now outpaces domestic earnings. Overseas markets grew by 26% in a single year. The Japanese government has formally designated anime as a pillar of national economic strategy, targeting $130 billion in annual overseas sales by 2033. The Jolly Roger flying over a protest in Jakarta is, in its own strange way, part of that story. Number 2. The engineers who build feelings. The anime merchandising segment is the single largest revenue source in the entire industry, 31% of total market value in 2025. And at the center of that segment is a profession that most people have never heard of: figurine prototype makers. These are engineers and artists who use 3D printing, advanced resin casting, and hand finishing techniques to create physical objects that make people feel something. A well-made figure of a beloved character isn't just a collectible, it's a tangible connection to a story that mattered to someone. Limited edition releases sell out in minutes. Secondary market prices for rare figures can reach thousands of dollars. Senior designers in this field earn between $55,000 and $133,000 US annually. It is a legitimate, specialized, high-skill profession that exists because Japan understood that physical objects that carry emotional meaning are not a niche market. They are a primary market. The anime industry didn't just create content, it created an entire manufacturing sector built around the human need to hold something real from a world that only exists in imagination. Number 1. Virtual humans who never age, never quit, and speak every language. VTubers, virtual YouTubers. If you haven't encountered this yet, pay attention, because this is where the entire industry is pointing. Agencies like HoloLive have built ecosystems of 3D animated avatars, each with a distinct personality, a dedicated fan base, and a live streaming presence that rivals the biggest human creators on the platform. These avatars interact with fans in real time, using motion capture technology to move and express with genuine spontaneity. They laugh, they get surprised, they make mistakes, they feel to their audiences completely real. And now AI-assisted translation tools are allowing these virtual talents to reach international audiences instantaneously. A Japanese VTuber can stream in Japanese and have their content understood in English, Spanish, and Portuguese in real time. The traditional barriers of language and localization, which have always been the bottleneck for Japanese content reaching global audiences, are dissolving. The anime industry generated $25.25 billion in 2024. Projections put it at $114 billion by 2032. That growth isn't coming from Japan, it's coming from everywhere else. And the VTuber ecosystem, virtual humans who never age, never have a bad press day, and can speak to anyone on Earth, is one of the primary engines driving it. Japan didn't just build an entertainment industry, it built a content infrastructure that is quietly becoming the default language of global youth culture. And it started with a cartoon. So here's the thing that ties all 13 of these together. Japan doesn't treat anime as a product, it treats it as a platform. A platform for urban design, for economic policy, for social inclusion, for education, for protest, for connection. The global anime market is projected to hit $114 billion by 2032. If this changed how you think about what a cartoon can actually do, drop a comment below with the one that surprised you most. And if you want to see more of Japan's hidden innovations that the rest of the world hasn't caught up to yet, the next video is right there. Don't miss it.